Episode 452 of Extreme Health Radio is brought to you by Amazon.com. I want to thank all of you guys for purchasing your Amazon purchases and products through our link. We really appreciate that. By going through our link, that helps to support our show, and it's a really easy thing for you. Nothing changes on your end. All you have to do is every single time you make a purchase over on Amazon is click our link first, which is on the right-hand side of our website, extremehealthradio.com. It doesn't have to be health related. Anything you buy there, we get a little commission that helps support the show, and we really appreciate you bookmarking our Amazon link and using that every single time you make a purchase. And we're also brought to you by Bellicon Rebounders. Now, many of you guys have been purchasing the Bellicon Rebounder lately. Rebounding, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a really cool way to exercise. And I exercise every single day. But rebounding is one of the most unique exercises you could ever do. It cleanses the lymphatic system, which very few exercises really do. Skipping rope does and jumping rope, but that's really hard on your joints. The Bellicon's a soft, it uses flexi ropes. It's silent. It helps build bone density. It helps cleanse the lymphatic system. It's a great cellular exercise. So every single cell in your body is stimulated by jumping up and down. The negative G-force of jumping up and down is just incredible. It's such an awesome exercise. I do it every single day for about 25 minutes. The Bellicon is absolutely the best. If you go to our link, you can watch some really cool videos, and you can find the links to the Bellicon and Amazon at extremehealthradio.com/452. We are live, episode 452.
That's boisterous.
Look at that.
Like that word's boisterous.
That was quite boisterous.
Quite an intro.
Well,
episode 452.
Episode 452.
Afro.
It's been a lot going on with us. We realize we haven't done a show since June 6th, a Free For All Friday show.
What's today? August 29th?
It's been 2 months. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I miss them. This is fun. I'm glad we're doing this.
I know. I like it a lot.
Happy Friday morning. Or Monday morning.
Monday morning. What?
Free for all, but it's Monday. I have to say, though, this is our this is a week of lasts.
Yes.
I was writing about this in my journal all morning.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to take off. Did you have a...
Well, no, I just want to let everyone know that the reason why we don't have any intro music on this particular show is that I can't figure out how to get it playing.
Well, that's an honest answer there.
Yeah, we got a new computer. So we're in the middle of a move right now that has had quite the process going into it. And on top of the move, the computer, the production PC crashed. So I haven't been able to do a show or record a show, or we're lucky to be able to do this right now.
I know.
So,
so we had to wait for this new computer to be built, which was a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And getting it hooked up, get a sound guy to come over to help us. It's been quite the eventful couple weeks.
We have a pretty intricate sound system here, apparently. I don't know why, but we've got a big soundboard and this mix minus and all this stuff that I have no idea how to do. So we had a really intricate sound issue going. And so we haven't been able to do shows for a long time, for about 3 weeks now. Crazy, right?
Feels like longer.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, feels like 3 months, but it's going to be back.
June 6th was our last Free For All Friday show. 2 months.
Wow. Oh,
crazy, huh?
When was our last show?
Shauna Home.
Was she our last one?
Was August 8th.
Whoa.
Yeah, the mushrooms, the psychedelics.
One of my good girlfriends just listened to that one, I think 2 days ago. The Shauna show. She loved it.
I remember you saying that.
We had a conversation yesterday at lunch about whether or not we'd be interested in actually doing the mushroom journey. It was quite interesting. You know, you have good friends and people that are like-minded when you sit down to dinner or lunch, and your friend looks at you and says, "So, are you called to do the mushroom medicine?" You know, it's like,
yeah,
who would ever? It's just funny. It takes a certain kind of person in your life to have a cool conversation about stuff like that.
I know. I feel like we represent our audience in such a big way because I feel like our audience, you know, people are into certain things and into alternative health or whatever it is, different things, and they get into these types of things and listening to podcasts and stuff, but they don't have anyone in their direct, immediate life where they feel like they connect with the host of the podcast, or they feel like they connect with other people that also listen. Because on here we have, thousands of people listening to every show, and they would all be friends, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's like we're all spread out across the nation and the world,
Yeah.
And it's like
too bad, kind of.
Yeah, we're all, so the people we have in our life are sort of like these old sort of leftovers from when we were.
That's nice.
No, but when we're
our family's just these old leftovers.
No, but you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
People that represent sort of our past life and not where we're going.
Right.
How we were 10 or 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And they all relate to us based on who we were back then.
Who they think we still are, really.
Yeah, and a lot of people get really into these types of things, and they just have no one to share them with, really.
Yeah.
It's kind of a...
Well, I'm glad our show and shows like ours exist, though, because we get emails from people just saying, I don't feel so alone, I don't feel so crazy. Even if they don't really have people in their life to talk about this to, they hear us reading other people's emails and talking about people we know, so it just makes the world kind of close in and people not feel so isolated and because the journey into the human psyche and soul is quite, and physical body too, but it's a trip. Mm-hmm. If you don't have other trippy people to talk to about it.
I know, or crazy people.
Yeah, or crazy people.
Hey, so what were you going to say a second ago? You said you were journaling something?
I was journaling about being a week of lasts.
Oh yeah.
I say that last with an S.
Last.
But it's interesting to sit down with a pen and notebook and just kind of think, wow, this is the last Monday for this. This is the last Monday in this place we've been living for a long time.
Mm-hmm. 6.5 years.
Yeah, 6.5 years. Can't wait for this season to be over. But I was trying to appreciate, the good parts about it and write about that. But I just thought, well, it's kind of funny when it gets down to the wire. You start thinking about everything different. Like, yeah, this is the last Monday night. This is the last. Can't come soon enough. But we have 2 puppies over here in the corner. Speaking of, Maggie Brown, Longbottom.
Yes.
Has a new friend.
A new
sister.
Who we recently put on the barf diet, and she transitioned beautifully.
Didn't she?
Yeah, she's having a little detox right now, though. Our little pup is detoxing.
Our little Charlie Brown. Our little girl, Charlie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, didn't have these itchy back problems when we got her a couple weeks ago when we rescued her. And within, I think, a week of putting her on the barf diet, she assimilated really well into the,
all hell breaks loose.
Well, yeah, she loved the diet, but then her back just broke out in all these itching problems. So we're dealing with that. But I really do think it's a detox, don't you?
I think so. Yeah.
She's 2 years old and she was eating this crap
quesadillas,
diet, pretty much.
Burritos, tacos.
Yeah. We asked the old owner what in the world she'd been eating or what she likes to eat, and the girl says, "Oh, anything. She eats everything. She eats everything we eat."
So I could feed her chocolate, ice cream. I could feed her cupcakes.
Oh, bad.
Glazed donuts.
Grapes, all things poisonous.
Avocados.
My gosh, isn't that sad though?
Yeah.
So we had her, and we didn't really even give her more than, it was funny. We put kibble. We got, what was it? Holistic kibble, because she'd been eating a diet of kibble along with God knows what other food that they fed her. And then we transitioned half and half to half barf, half kibble the first day, and she ate around the kibble. It was so funny.
Yeah, that was bizarre, right?
Yeah, and then the second day we just tried to give her kibble, and she wouldn't even, it just sat there. And then we took it all away and just gave her barf, and we're like, okay, well, I guess day 2 you're pretty much transitioned.
Yeah.
And, she did have a little, talking to Robert Mueller, sometimes there's a little bit of a change in their, stool and, how much they consume, how much they put out, how much, all that kind of stuff. But she seemed to do pretty good, and now she's pretty solid. We've had her, 3.5 weeks?
By the way, for those that are listening and you're wondering, what the hell is barf? It is the biologically appropriate raw food diet. So if you listen to our shows with Robert Mueller, we've done a couple of them, and we offer this dog food if you guys are interested in it on our store, but it's basically raw dog food. And so it's really cool. It actually, cause it has the entrails of the animal as well as the skin and bones. And then it also has, so it's a perfect acid alkaline balance, which is an issue when people or animals eat meat. If they eat just muscle meat, they don't get the alkaline minerals in the bones or the entrails. And so it's really, really important for your dog to eat really, really high quality food. And so, she transitioned great.
She transitioned really
Except
quick.
for this little back thing. I think she's detoxing.
I think she is too. We'll keep an eye on that. But
yeah.
Maggie had a harder time.
She did.
Switching from raw, even though she was only 5 months when we got her or whatever. She didn't really care for the raw. It took her a while, but Charlie just ate like a champ.
Yeah, she's really good.
And I think it's funny too how we were talking about, like, you just mentioned like our old life versus our new life. You know, people we've outgrown versus people who stand for kind of like where you're at in your new life. My friend Robin brought up a really good point about Charlie and Maggie when she had met them a few weeks ago. And she said, isn't that funny? It seems like one dog represents the old and one dog represents the new. And she was talking more about me and my own journey in my life. I thought that's so funny. Like, Maggie's this high strung, kind of need to control, very sensitive, very worried.
On edge, yeah.
On edge, edgy dog. She just, you know, it's always like, I don't know, she's bothered by everything. It's just funny. And
just then cold, hates everybody.
Yeah, really picky if you
I know you're transitioning to you.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Just really, really cold, just hates everyone, just wants to be by herself.
Hermitage.
Yeah.
Hermit style.
No, she's not that way.
No, but she's just a finicky little thing. And, you know, if like you step on her, she freaks out. If you, you know, she's just very like, if she gets something on her, she just like is very cautious. She'll wait until you pull it off of her to keep walking down the sidewalk. And then you have Charlie, who's just like happy-go-lucky. Nothing bothers me. I'm not worried about anything. I'll try anything. I just want to be with you. I just want to be like, she's just such a good-natured dog, you know?
Dogs really do.
She's free. She's more free.
I encourage everyone to get a dog and treat it well.
Oh, man.
I love animals. They're so good for you.
They're so good.
I mean, they come with their own issues, but so does, I mean, if you want to just be completely left to your own self, then you have to live in a cabin alone in the woods and not have any access to anybody. And, you know, you can shield yourself from death and dying and all of that stuff. But, you know, what kind of life is that? But having dogs is so great. I think it's so cool.
Pretty fun. Yeah, I like having two. I'm surprised Maggie didn't try to first week or two was a little bit bizarre. Maggie just snapped at her and didn't really, she liked her, but she just wasn't quite sure. Now they're like BFFs. They're over here cuddled together.
Maggie's sexual energy, can we say, was a little high?
A little high. Heat cycle. We had two dogs in their heat cycle.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Like so having two teenage daughters going through.
Trying to hump her sister. This is a little strange.
Ew.
Oh, to be a dog.
Oh, to be a dog. Dogs are so weird.
Aren't they weird?
They're great, but they're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've had quite the events going on over here.
Yeah, so we were in the middle of a move, and we had some issues show up at the new place. It's so interesting that we just did a show on mold, and that showed up in our new place. And it's a place we're renting. We're not going to be, you know, buying it. So we're kind of, it's we don't control a lot of what goes on in there before we move in. So that was really interesting that we just did a show on mold, and then they found mold.
Under the bathroom sinks.
Yeah.
Warped. The tenant before us apparently had been there for a long time, and there had been some sort of leakage, and he didn't say anything. And the deep cleaner people came over, and they tore off this contact paper that was in the bottom of the cabinet in the bathrooms, and there's just mold. You know, dried mold. It's not like it was active mold, but mold's mold. And so,
right.
Yeah, they're treating it according to, you know, the landlord that owns the people that own the place, you know, are doing it the best they can and going with a really great specialist and stuff. But it's funny, after, we just did a show. What show was that?
I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah, about the proper ways to deal with mold. And again, it's kind of funny having your hands tied to an extent about, you know, what you would do if you owned a place and were paying for it versus the way that things are being dealt with. But I mean, I'd rather have them deal with the mold issue in general than not deal with it before we move in. But,
right.
I mean, we're committed. It's not like it's just a hard situation.
Yeah, we can't pull out now.
No.
What is the name of that guy?
Why am I blanking?
Who did we do? Michael Schrantz, episode 438.
Good one.
How to properly check for mold in your home, what to avoid, and common myths dispelled.
See, now I'm going to go back and listen to that again and figure out once we're in there what we can do. You know, if we want to hire another mold guy that he would recommend, kind of a guy out to do that, we can do that. It's just getting us initially in. At least it's going to be somewhat dealt with.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. I mean, we've done quite a few shows on mold. You know, a lot of people are talking about how there's a connection between mold and cancer, and mold and other diseases, and Candida's relation to cancer, and all this stuff. So it's really important to you know, have your home be somewhere that actually. This is the thing too. I feel like a lot of people's homes, and this is how our home is now, it's just a place to kind of sleep, but it's not a place to come and heal. And I want a home to be really just a place that's calm, peaceful. You know, obviously if you have kids, you know, they're going to be making noise, but it's not like, I don't know. I think you have to create that, you know? I think you have to work at that and decide this is how you want your life to be, and this is what you value. And so I really want to do that in our new place and make it calm and peaceful and,
me too.
You know, place to heal kind of.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that. You're right. It's not just a place to go sleep or cook, or it's a place to actually get better.
So got an email here from our good friend. Actually, let me open this up here. Here we go. I got an email from Kirsty.
Nice.
She says, "Hi, Justin and Kate. I'm just getting back to you to tell you how much I hate the sauna." Winking. Totally kidding, of course. I naturally love the sauna and have experienced so many benefits, including a really great sense of relaxation and calmness, better skin tone and muscle tone, increased feeling of purity, cleanliness, better sleep quality, etc. This is just my initial review. Top notch, 100% amazing, 5-star platinum quality. Wow.
Wow.
Platinum quality.
Platinum quality.
I like that.
Go Kirsty.
A big grin. I can't wait to dig deep with this tool and do some detox. Yeah. One of the best things, though, is that my boyfriend, who is kind of a big naysayer when it comes to what he calls, quote, pseudoscience or gimmicks, absolutely loves the sauna, too.
Nice.
I'm really happy about that. He was visiting me for a couple months, and I finally got it up and working in the last month. We've been having daily saunas, his for 15 minutes, mine for 22 minutes, because I'm hardcore.
Yes, you are.
I love that. I'm hardcore.
I'm bad to the bone.
I'm bad to the core. I try to have at least one sauna per day and occasionally two, like the spa day for Phil.
Nice.
I love that. I wanted to ask you if you received the lamp from Phil, and if so, how do you like it? I'm curious about that product. Hope you guys are doing fantastic, and I hope to speak to you soon. I have a feeling I will, as so many awesome things are happening in my life right now. Thanks for all you do, and keep up the wonderful work you are doing in your lives. Love and hugs from me, Kirsty, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Nice. I have to say, that lamp.
What do you have to say?
I had the what do you call it? The first hand.
Hooty whatty?
What's the word? Oh, I can't focus today.
You need ginkgo.
What? I need ginkgo?
I need ginkgo biloba.
I know. I had a first-hand experience.
Yes.
With that lamp.
Oh, yeah.
I needed it right when we got it. I hurt my neck somehow sleeping like this. It was like this sleeping thing that I heard something pop in like my lower neck, upper back. And it sent this radiating like pain down my spine into my shoulder blades. And it was like a couple days where I couldn't go to work, my part-time job. I couldn't like really move. It was bizarre. And so what I did was use this awesome machine we have called the rapid release technology.
Yes, we're going to be featuring that. It's on our Instagram, but we're going to be offering that on our store here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And we're doing an interview with the founder of the company here pretty soon.
Really
too.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll explain that more when we have him on. But I did that machine along with this far infrared lamp. Do we have that in our store yet?
We don't have it in our store.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a little behind, maybe a few years behind in updating our products in our store, but
a few years. I'm a few years behind in emailing people back, so don't worry about it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be making it into our store. If you guys are interested in the sauna, or you just want to buy the heat lamp, you can just always email us.
This heat lamp's awesome. So it directs far infrared technology and therapy right onto specific places. So it's like the sauna, but without the sweat, without sitting in the sauna, right?
It's cool because, yeah, you can, it's sort of like the biomat that we sell. Like that's cool because you can direct it towards your back, or you can direct it towards your lower back. This is cool in the same way. It's a little more focused. So you're getting all that direct far infrared light right into a specific focal point in your body, which is super awesome.
It felt really healing to me. We put it up higher than my body was on like a tray, like an adjustable tray we had from when I used to do hair.
Yeah, we have a picture of it on our Instagram.
Oh, yeah, we do. And I put that thing right, you positioned it perfect on my upper spine, lower neck. And not only does it feels warm and good. I can't wait to use this in the fall and winter, but I think between that and the other machine, within a couple days, I mean, something that used to take me a long time to get over, I felt a lot more mobility, and it felt really comforting. And I know it really aided in my healing. So yeah, Kirsty, it was really interesting that I had like a need for it, because I always thought, oh, it'll be there if I need it. And then we have it for a week and all of a sudden have a really big need for it.
Yeah, it's bizarre, right?
So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I've been using it.
You've been doing it?
Yeah, when I read, so I like to read laying on my stomach.
Right.
And so what I'll do is I'll many people that know or listen to the show know that my back is,
challenged.
Yeah, less than great. So when I lay on my stomach and I read a book propped up on my elbows, your lower back is sort of, curved. And so whenever I would lay like that, my lower back would just be super tight and really hurt. And, it'd take me a few minutes to loosen back up again. When I have that thing on it, I'll read for about a half hour and I'll have that light on it. And it's like, it's so warm and it's like I get up and it just feels totally perfect.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Huh.
That's the only way I've used it. I haven't used it, but I imagine it would be good for like castor oil packs or if you have liver issues, you can lay down and put it right over your liver. That's kind of cool.
Man,
you can drive, it's almost like DMSO in the sense you can drive that energy and light deep into a specific area of your body.
So I wonder with the castor oil, if that's like, if you can do that lamp in place of the hot water bottle or whatever it is that people heat them up with.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting that info. I'm not claiming or telling anyone to do that. Suggesting, I don't know, but I wonder if that's something that could take the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll have to ask Phil about that.
Interesting, Kirsty, about your boyfriend who is very...
he's a naysayer.
He's a naysayer. I lived so much of my life like that for so long, yeah. Where I just doubted... I still doubt everything, but I'm open to everything.
Yeah.
And it's a weird world to live in when you live in a way where you sort of worship science as a replacement for religion or a god. Like you put science on this huge pedestal. And there's an interesting thing. I just put a video I put on our Facebook site. If you follow us on Facebook, maybe you saw it. It was like 10 of the biggest lies in science.
I saw the title this morning.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
And science is treated like it's the holy grail of everything these days. And science...
Until science proves something.
Yeah, it's constantly changing and it's constantly growing and should be sort of getting rid of old ideas and replacing them for newer truth and things like that. But science is beholden to their bigger industries that they're involved in, and so they have to get grants and funding and, there's all kinds of things that aren't talked about. So, but people worship and think science is like this amazing thing, and it is, but there's limits to it. And so when you live in a world where everything's figured out and you test everything by science, it's like, I don't know. I lived in that world and it's not a fun world.
It's not a magical world.
It's not a magical world.
Yeah.
And that's
I love science backing things. I don't think it's ever going to be able to explain everything. I doubt that highly. There's wonders and magic and. Yeah,
it can't explain so much of what we experience in life at all,
This universe is so wondrous,
Yeah. And, so, or gimmicks. Yeah. So, I don't know. The way I look at it is with these pseudoscience or gimmicks, I just like right now I'm wearing that Q-Link,
yes, you are.
A necklace.
Protection necklace.
To protect from EMF. The way I look at it is, if something is going to be, let's say, very difficult and hard for me to do, and there's not a lot of science to back it up, I probably won't do it. But if something is easy for me to do, like wear a necklace or put on this zapper that I have here.
Right.
That there's no double blind, placebo studies about what's a zapper does, because who's going to test, what money is there in proving a zapper works or doesn't work? So with stuff like that, I just do it because it's easy. Mm-hmm. And so, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So I'd rather just live in the hopes and the, what do they call that? The placebo effect,
Right.
I'd rather just live in that world because it doesn't take any extra energy to wear a necklace or not wear a necklace.
Well, I felt like that yesterday. It's really interesting. One of my good friends, Brett, took me to a gem fair.
Oh, yeah.
It's traveling around and it was in Orange County. So we went to this gem fair and it's so funny. There was thousands of people looking at a bunch of gems and rocks and stones and crystals. And it's cool. First of all, you felt like you kind of found a little bit more of your tribe.
Yeah.
Cause you're like, wow, everybody pays money to come here and like buy stones and.
Yeah.
And it was everything. It was really, really cool. Everything from, singing bowls.
Oh, sound bowls.
Sound bowls to chakra balancing stuff and binaural beat type things. And
chakra balancing.
It was pretty cool.
Balance those chakras.
Balance them on out, people. But I thought, it was weird. Honestly, when I was there, I had a moment where I'm like, are these just a bunch of rocks in a room? Like, this is so weird. There's people just looking at rocks, buying rocks, and they claim this and that. And And then I thought, well, even if they are a bunch of rocks, I was like you. I was like, well, even if it's placebo and people believe in the power of stones and healing and all that stuff, then that's all that needs to be. And I'm not to say, but I could only base it off of my own experience. My own experience is that has been really helpful to me by laying on the biomat. There is something with me that happens when I lay on that thing with the amethyst and tourmaline. I can't deny there's some kind of a gravitational pull and some kind of like a weird shift that happens within my body. And same when I wore certain stones. We had that episode was so interesting with Tom from Tom Stones.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe you could find out. Tom, what was his last name? I'm not sure, but
Tom Benedict. Benedict Cumberbatch. Episode 270.
270. And he sent us some stones after our interview with him based on like what our needs were. And I started wearing them in a little pouch that my friend made me. And I felt different. I mean.
Did you?
Yeah. So I could only it's funny. I could only base it off of I had these little, even me knowing the power of stones and feeling the power of stones and gems and crystals. Like I was at this convention and I felt like I was so gimmicky kind of like, and then I walked away going, no, but that was real to me. That's real to me. It doesn't mean I need to buy every stone in that place or like. But what I had and the experience I had was real. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather live in the placebo too, even if it's all placebo. It's all in my head. Yeah. I don't know. It's an
like,
odd journey.
It's kind of like, if someone has a psychedelic experience and they see entities that are either angels or God, and they have this profound psychedelic experience where they meet what they would consider to be the creator, and they go through this incredible journey. Is it something that is the psychedelic medicine changing something in their brain and they're just imagining all that, or are they actually experiencing the thing?
Wow.
So it's the same way with this in a sense. It's like, well, we don't know if you have an experience. Is it because you think you have an experience with it, or is it because you actually did? But to make a distinction between the two is really difficult and time consuming. Mm-hmm. So I'm like you. I'd rather just say, you know what? I'd rather live in a world of magic and wonder and say, you know what? Why not? I'm sure something like that could be possible.
Because how could science ever prove that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like dreaming.
Exactly.
I know I've had dreams, where people have come and visited me and told me information and things, and they're very real.
It's possible that that actually happened, or it's also possible that it's just in your head.
Right.
But if you have one of two beliefs, and why not believe the more fun one?
I agree. I agree. And the one that brings you the most healing and the most joy, most closure.
I mean, you and I both know people who live in that very scientific sort of mechanical world of machine and X's and O's and ones and zeros and everything, and there's black and white, and this is how the world works, and nothing, everything has an explanation, and there's no unexplained phenomenon, and this is what happens when this happens. And you and I both know very closely a lot of people that live like that. Mm-hmm. And I used to live like that, and it's just not fun. Like, it's just not fun. Realizing there's synchronicities and magic, and you're being sort of spoken to from a higher order, perhaps during the day when you're just driving along. It's like, how do you explain, like, what's her name? Who's that lady that came up with the Harry Potter series?
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she was on a train traveling through Germany or Europe or something, and this whole idea of this wizard goes to wizard school, it came into her head, and then all these characters came into her head, and it's almost as if it just got downloaded,
she was being chosen to be the conduit or something.
Yeah, and if you don't live in a world of dreams, synchronicity, and magic, then... It's never
going to happen to you.
Yeah, that stuff probably won't happen to you. Mm-hmm. And where does that come from? Because it doesn't seem like, she would be thinking, I'm going to create a movie about this or a book about this. And you were talking about this the other day, how you're talking about how, what if our thoughts are actually downloaded from the greater consciousness or whatever?
I remember that.
Yeah, I just thought that thought was really interesting because, that would go to show that our thoughts are somehow not us. Ourselves. And we download these things into our bodies. And if we download them into our bodies and think that they're our own, then like you were saying on that walk, that if you download them and then you get hung up on them and they get sort of stuck in your body.
It's like downloading an app that you can't delete.
Yeah, and it's just a virus app or something.
Virus.
Like you download a virus.
Yeah, it was a weird thought I had. I journaled about this. I have it right here. Do you want maybe I could read my thoughts so that I can wrap my mind around it. But yeah, it was you sometimes think about there being I think the first thing that kind of cracked the belief system I had about, I remember when somebody on the show, maybe it was you, but a guest we had on, you said your food doesn't go into your body.
Oh,
what
right.
do you mean it doesn't go into your body? It goes into a tube that's outside of your body.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, how can your food be going outside of your body? It goes into your body.
Yeah.
But then when you explained it made sense. There's a tube that basically runs down the middle of your body, but it's contained within itself.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like food is going into your bloodstream or into your, into your arms. You're not getting food dispersed everywhere. You're getting little systems that use the food to break it down to give you energy and go into your cells. But I never once in my life thought, wow, food doesn't go into your body. It's the weirdest thing. It goes into a little pouch inside your body, but that's outside your body.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's such a weird bizarre. So that reminded me of when this hit me, I thought it was really interesting. So I won't read the whole thing, but let me see. Yeah, I can't believe just how much information is stored in our bodies and brains. Some things like songs stick in my memory forever, surfacing at the strangest times. It's both beautiful and frightening how memories can linger so deeply embedded. The love, the shame, the laughter, the abuse, the lies, the disappointment, the dreams, all stored in the, quote, gray matter of our brain, which I'm beginning to wonder if it's, quote, outside the body altogether. Like the iCloud, where information is stored in a storage bank outside of a phone, that our memories are maybe not stored in our cells or our bodies, except maybe physical memories, but rather in an energetic field of sorts. And I put it, what if it's like the Akashic records and they truly exist, recording and storing all that's ever happened in eternity and can be tapped into? Isn't that all of our actions, our memories, and our thoughts? Can they be stored in two places, in both our physical body as well as our energetic storage place at the same time? And I just put, I wonder what is real and what is true, and if we could ever know the real answers.
Wow.
But it's weird to think about, though, isn't it? Because everybody thinks these traumas, I think traumas and things are stored in the body, but are our memories, when we recall something, is it actually stored in the gray matter of our brain? Is it actually in our brain?
Yeah. I think no. I think somehow we connect to what could only be described as the cloud.
Energetic field.
And somehow, the Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, do you know about his work?
Do we have him on the show?
No, but I should.
I know his name.
He talks about the morphogenic field, and it's sort of you ever walk by a bar or in Disneyland in the middle of the summer and they have all that mist, and it's sort of like that, where it's this morphogenic field, this field that covers all of us, but we can't see it.
Wow.
And so I think, it wouldn't make sense. How could you have an energy? Really it's just data that's stored in your brain, but it's weird how you could actually have a memory that might not be stored in your brain. It's like connecting to a cloud. That's what
that was the essence of that journal time in the morning. I'm where did this come from? It was so strange.
Mm-hmm.
But every time, but we can relive a memory. We think we live a memory. What if we're actually not? But we think that we have these memories, or you get a smell of something, or you pass by something and you're I remember being here.
Mm-hmm. Then what are memories that, deja vu memories?
I know. Whole thing.
Because how could that have been in your brain if you never experienced it? So that deja vu memory is somehow some sort of energetic disturbance that got somehow passed energetically from one generation to the next or something.
Well, you hear that happening all the time. You hear bizarre stories of people. We even know somebody who had a dream and their daughter kept having the same dream.
Oh, yeah.
Never knowing the mom's dream.
Say that. Yeah, tell me that story.
It was just a friend of mine said she was having this nightmare type dream and had it her whole life.
Uh-huh.
Or a lot. It was really terrifying. And there was a night or something when her daughter woke up really, really stressed out about this nightmare, and the mom said, well, tell me about it. And the daughter started describing the mom's very own dream. That was her own nightmare. So somehow this nightmare literally was the same to both of them, within the family, like the nuclear family
Wow.
unit, without ever having been talked about before.
Yeah, I remember you said that. I forgot the details.
Very odd.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's stuff going on like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, can science, it goes back to that. Can that ever be proven how that works or what deja vu is? I just don't think we understand even a glimpse of what's really going on. But
yeah, that's bizarre.
I just have a hard time thinking when scientists, like I saw something online the other day where they were taking a brain out of somebody, a sick person or something, and they were cutting into it. Maybe it was like an Alzheimer's type thing. I'm not sure. They were actually cutting into the gray matter and splicing open the brain and showing the parts. And,
I remember that.
Yeah, and you and I think I remember looking at you and going, gosh, it just seems like, how does that mush actually store things in it? It just didn't make any sense to me. It almost made me feel like it was like the body's like a pyramid. Mm-hmm. And we don't quite understand how it works, but we look at the ancient pyramids and we think, okay, there was something to do with the design of it, so that at the top there was like this cap to it.
Right.
It must have been some way to connect with its greater power, whatever it was trying to do. So is that just like us? We're these lines, like we're like a line walking around with like a capstone, like our head, and the gray matter isn't really like, hey, you store all your information or your thoughts or your memories or anything there. Mm-hmm. But it's a way to almost like, it's like the third eye. It's like the way to connect to whatever field you're getting this stuff from, and you're able to retain things. So you can, humans are able to make progress by retaining.
Yeah, it's almost like we are antennas, right?
That's what it kind of feels like.
Because we're the only mammal that really walks on 2 feet, and the plane of our body is perpendicular to the ground, whereas every other mammal, the plane of their body is parallel to the ground.
Interesting.
You know what
Human
I mean?
antennas.
Are there any other animals there's no other animals or anything else on Earth that walks upright, right?
Well, funny, monkeys. I mean,
but
apes,
they're not. Yeah, but
they can, but they don't all the time.
But look how they sort of do, and look how close to us they are.
That's what I was going to say. They're the closest to us.
And so there must be something. They talk about our adrenal glands being the glands that allow humans to stand vertical, and to spend your day with the energy to stand and walk upright.
Well, everybody else has adrenal glands too. I wonder what's different in ours.
I know.
Huh.
But yeah, that is interesting though, because like maybe we are an antenna. Maybe we are something where, we're like a computer, but we have all of our programs and data stored in the cloud. And so it's up to us to reconnect with whatever that is. And I mean, think about this too, is that if all information, if the Akashic Records is true and there's all information stored in the cloud, that means that like the ability to sort of build the pyramids is out there. Mm-hmm. It's just that we haven't been able to, if you think of it like a cloud, like we haven't been able to connect with wherever and tap into where that information lives, because that information is out there somewhere. It didn't just die with the people that made it.
Right, right.
So it's out there somewhere if there is such a thing as this morphogenic field. Mm-hmm. And so how is it that we're so disconnected that we can't figure things like that out?
But also so connected that if that's truly the way things work, then the people at Apple, whoever invented the iCloud, was just going off an old blueprint. Uh-huh. They were tapping into like, hey, this is the truth of how things work. Let's harness it for our own profit. Mm-hmm. Let's copy the natural pattern of life and use it to like for a money scheme. Really,
that's bizarre, right?
But I feel like if that's true and there's nothing new under the sun, people are just waking up to how things are working, and then they're using them to like create a technological version of it. You know?
A technological version of a biological truth.
Yeah, great. Well put, right?
Well, I mean, think about this too. If we're like computers in a sense, I don't like using that analogy. It's just too mechanistic, and we're much more than that. We're really like this ecosystem, this bioenergetic ecosystem.
Yeah, we're not a robot.
Really. We're not a machine or an animal. But if we were to compare ourselves to like a computer, isn't it interesting that the more apps and the more programs and the more data you put onto a computer, the slower it becomes and it doesn't work? Like my computer that just died a couple weeks ago.
Right.
The more information and the more programs and stuff you download off the internet, it bogs down your system. And that's the same was with our health. It's like the more stories we believe about other people, the more anger we hold on to, all of that stuff, the more of those stories we buy into and hold on to. The more you hold on to, the slower your metabolism goes, probably the slower your whole system goes.
You're not putting anything into the trash bin on your computer. It's like you're just storing it all the traumas, all the hurt,
so imagine
all the lies.
If you use the morphogenic field like the cloud, where you don't have to hold on to any of those programs, you can access them through the cloud, and then not disconnect from them when you need to.
Undisconnect.
I'm undisconnecting the Colorado River.
Is that Robert Redford?
That was Robert Redford and Will Ferrell.
Dude, that's funny. Undisconnecting the Colorado River. For those of you who are wanting a good laugh, I think
go look that up on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube it.
So
yeah,
when you have all this stuff, it's like food, you know, you eat too many calories and you start getting fat, you know, you have too much of this energetic stuff, stories and all this stuff, and you know, you hold on to all this stuff.
Right.
When in actuality, we could be like an empty vessel, completely empty, cleansed out, clean, working perfectly, and you can download like the app of being angry for a time if someone comes and injures your family or wants to come after you. You know, you can download the app of stress for half a day to be able to get your family to safety, and then you can disconnect from that, and then you can download, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Or thoughts or anything.
It's funny, I just finished the best book ever, The Untethered Soul. I think I probably mentioned it.
Oh, I gotta read that.
By Michael Singer. It's so good. But that's the whole takeaway from that book. I mean, it's excellent. I highly recommend it for everyone. It's like the 4 Agreements to me by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's just one of those simple truths, but it's poetic, but it's deep, but it's also simple. It's weird.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is like, the only way to truly live this life is to have things hit you, come at you, because they will, and then let them just flow through you and let them go. If anything gets stuck in this process of coming into your brain, down through your heart, and then just gets stuck somewhere in your body, that's what causes, it's the root of everything bad, whether it's mental or physical pain, disease, berating ourselves and raking ourselves over the coal for the past. Like, there's all these things that we think we deserve. And he's like, the only way to truly heal is to let something come in and just let it go right back out. Like,
so he's
become a circle, you know?
So
like,
he's saying that it's not necessarily a bad thing to be angry at something for a short amount of time, but then to realize what it is and then let that anger go and completely disconnect from it.
Right.
So how is he saying to do that? Like, I wonder.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to read it again.
Yeah.
I haven't really. He gives some, like, that's what's funny about books like that. You feel like you connect with the idea, but like my next door neighbor, Teresa, and I were talking about, like, how on an actual level do you do that? Like, is there a program for this? Is there a way that you can teach people techniques to do that? Maybe he's not a technique giver. Maybe he gives people the aha moment and passes the baton on for them to figure that out because it looks different for everybody. Maybe for some people it's a recall healing type therapy. Maybe for other people, it's their yoga practice. Other people, it's prayer and meditation. Like, there has to be different ways for people to let go. I don't think it's a one size fits all, though.
Yeah, I'm sure there's different ways, different psychological cues or spiritual things you can use.
So maybe books like that, maybe that's why they're a little like, they leave you wanting a little more, I believe, is because they almost don't want to give suggestions of how to do that other than awaken you to the idea that it can be done. Because that's a lot of responsibility to tell people this works
and how to do it.
Work for everybody.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of letting go, right? I mean, that's the hardest. That's the most difficult thing for humans to do, is to learn how to let go of your diagnosis, let go of your poor health, let go of all that,
right? And
not own it, and be happy with the process, and
it's a hard thing to
while at the same time trying to heal yourself. You know? Yeah,
I think it's cool.
Let me read another email here. We have one from Mr. Mushroom.
Mr. Mushroom. Seriously?
In regards to Bailey O'Brien.
Awesome.
This story touched me. I cried. My mom died after going to Cancer Treatment Centers of America. They gave her staph infection in her blood.
Oh.
I desperately tried to give my mom more options, but belief in the medical community and pressure from family made her stay in the eugenics lab of chemotherapy. I'm so happy for Bailey. At least they didn't kill another one while robbing them of money and hope. Thank you, Kate and Justin. Mr. Mushroom.
I love Mr. Mushroom.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe she had the same kind of cancer his mom did.
Oh, that's terrible.
They gave her staph infection in her blood. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? You've seen staph sores, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, they're like flesh-eating disease. Imagine having that in your blood.
Oh.
But belief in the medical community and pressure from family made her stay.
Happened to a friend of yours, too, unfortunately.
Who's that?
Shauna.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah. I'll never forget the words she told me.
What kind of cancer did she have? Do you remember?
Colon cancer, I think.
She was young. Your age.
36 at the time.
Okay.
And she knew what we did. And so I reached out to her, and I ended up talking to her on the phone. And I said, would you be interested at all in, at this point, she was already getting treatment for everything, conventional treatment. And I said, would you be at all interested in at least anything that might mitigate the effects of chemo, and make chemo work better or anything? And she said, yeah, I'm really into it. I really want to do it. But, if I don't get chemotherapy, my family will kill me. And it just was like, oh my gosh. And she ended up dying. I don't know how long later, maybe 6-8 months later. And it's just.
Yeah, those words, man. But it was like almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's like an omen.
It's like, yeah.
It's so sad.
That. Oh, my family will kill me.
Yeah, they'll kill me.
Oh.
If I don't get chemo.
It's just people being uninformed. They're very, very, people are just uneducated. They don't know, and they're scared thinking. I remember thinking that too the first time I heard of natural cures for cancer or natural treatments for cancer. And I was pretty skeptical because I thought, wow, that's basically like doing nothing,
Right.
Yeah, I just thought that sounds like if you're not doing treatment, you're not doing anything. But in my mind, treatment is so much different. I view treatment as something completely different now.
Yeah. I know but then I think it's interesting though to learn about the stats of how successful chemotherapy and radiation is versus what they tell you and how many people die. See, they'll never tell you how many people die from chemo. They always blame it on the cancer. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, I would guess that most people would die
from the treatment
or die of the chemo. And so it's like, when you start, people need to see, that's this whole science thing again. It all comes back to science because everyone's in a white lab coat and quoting science and studies and all this stuff, but no one's really looking into deeper how those studies are manipulated, who funded the studies, what are the actual rates, how do you define cure, and all these things and defining your terms, defining your words and getting to the root truth about what their claims are. And when you start realizing that, there's less than a 2% success rate with chemotherapy.
Is that what it is, do you think?
Yeah, it's less than 2%.
Less than 2%.
And some cancers is much higher. There's a few cancers that chemo actually works really well for.
Wow.
From my understanding. Yeah, my mom's one of them. Mm-hmm. But, it's because people just buy hook, line, and sinker what the medical establishment is telling them through scientific language and dressing up like scientists and stuff like that.
Right.
And so.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, I really feel really bad, because how are people to know unless they really do, some deep work, Well,
I'm laughing because I'm not laughing, but Chris Wark just has an email that just came up right now. This is interesting. He says, hey gang, proudly display your disdain for Susan G. Komen and pink washing this October with a pink ribbon scam t-shirt or tank. Have you seen these?
Oh, nice. No.
Created by yours truly. Together we can raise awareness about this colossal money wasting of the world's largest, quote, breast cancer awareness charity. This shirt has already had over 1,100 reactions and 600 shares on Facebook. We're off to a great start. Check it out. And it's cool. There's like a man and woman shirt and it says SC&M, give to patients, not to Komen. How great is that?
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm trying to go onto his.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm trying to go onto his Facebook site.
Yeah, that just came up because I thought until people are aware, like if people start wearing this, they would be like, "What the heck is SC&M?"
Yeah,
it's going to take this kind of stuff for the average person to wake up.
Yeah, Chris has been on our show, Chris Wark. If you're interested, you can search him in the archives. Just search for Chris Wark.
Can I read something really quick?
Yeah, he's cool. I like Chris a lot.
I love Chris. It says some important facts about Komen, because this is the kind of thing where you're like only 2% of chemo actually works for people.
Right.
He has some great statistics here, and
yeah,
only 21% of money Komen raises goes to cancer research. Okay.
Okay.
Komen has taken legal action against over 100 small non-profits for using the phrase "for the cure" in their campaigns. Komen has partnered with KFC and sold pink buckets of chicken, quote, for the cure. Komen created a perfume called Promise Me, containing toxic ingredients. The toxic ingredients, oh my gosh, I can't even say these, oxybenzene, toluene, I don't even know how to say this, toluene, I'm not good with chemicals. In 2014, Komen founder Nancy Brinker was paid $684,000. In 2014, Charity Navigator downgraded Komen to 2 stars out of 4. It's interesting.
Yeah, look into Susan G. Komen, man. If you look it up online, you can find so much, so many articles written about the nefarious tactics they use, and it's really just a scam. It's a money-making scam.
Sad.
And people that are unsuspecting, that don't do any research into these things, just get bombarded with massive advertisements and things, and so they just believe what everyone tells them, and never having looked into anything. And cancer is it's a $1 billion business every year, and how is it that we haven't had a cure since 1971, when Richard Nixon promised and declared the war on cancer?
1971.
1971, the war on cancer.
We're no closer to it.
No closer to a cure. But yet these people are just racketing, pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars in order to keep researching and finding. I mean, seriously, how is it that if the government weren't corrupt and we had actual money being given to people who actually cared and wanted to find a cure for cancer, I mean, I cannot believe for a second that they would not have been able to find something by now.
I have a hard time believing that.
Look at all the progress we've made in the alternative world. And that's with dodging the government, not making any claims, using the language in a way that you can't say certain things. And that's underground labs and people on their own time that don't have any funding, that don't work for big pharmaceutical corporations, and doing this out of the love and passion for trying to cure cancer.
Thanks to social media.
But look how far we've come, even with like all of our hands tied and feet tied. We're trying to do this stuff. If we had the actual funding of the government and hundreds of billions of dollars.
You're right.
I mean, there's no way we wouldn't have been able to, but they don't want it cured.
Yeah, there's no money in that.
There's no money in that.
Right.
There's money in just stringing people along and giving them chemotherapy.
I like the way you said that, though. It's so true. I pictured like a scene from Hunger Games where I forget, but they're all marching. It like calls up all these warriors, and they're marching with like giant, like javelins, but like
bayonets,
logs and stuff. And they're trying to like crash open like these walls of this gated city or whatever.
There's a scene like that in Braveheart.
Yeah, and they're all like, they know that they're just like marching to their demise, but it's like that one crack in the armor was what it took for the whole story to just like come for the winners to win,
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, when we have our hands and feet tied, like you said, like look at already how far we've come. Like against every odd, there's still information and people healing. And imagine if we had that backing,
Oh, if we had the full backing of the government and companies and all that, like there's no way we would have had a cure. I mean, a lot of people claim we have cures now, and I believe we do, but I mean, there would have been a registered scientific cure, within 5 years of him making that.
Right.
If we actually had real people doing real research, But it's a sad thing,
We're not stopping.
Yeah.
As Miley Cyrus says, we won't stop. We can't stop.
We can't stop. Becky writes in, hey, thank you so much for all your shows. I was wondering if you have read anything about dental problems or have a resource I could look into. Just got back from the dentist, and they said one of my teeth had a dead and infected root, and it's where it will be noticeable when they pull it. Wah. W-A-H.
Wah.
Wah. They said special foods or diet will not help. Once again, thank you for your help. All right. What I would recommend, Becky, is to look into the cure for tooth decay, or what is it called? Tooth.
Oh my gosh, why are we blanking? I know
it's
you're talking
Ramiel
about.
Nagel, Ramielnagel.
Here, I'll look it up.
The cure for tooth decay, maybe?
I think.
We've done a lot of shows on teeth, and I would listen to our shows that we've done on teeth. You can go
Curefortoothdecay.com.
Is it with
Remineralize your teeth naturally with good food.
Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of information on this one. By
I think he was episode 22. So
he
go
was
into
early on.
archives and you can listen to the show we did with Ramil. But what I would do is spend some money. You know, you're going to have to do this and go to a biological holistic dentist. And if you go on to certain websites, like acam.org, acam.org, you can find holistic dentists around the nation. Personally, what we did is we just sucked it up and went to Dr. Stuart Nunley. And
we put it on a credit card.
We put it on a credit card, on a care credit, which they offer, and you just slowly pay it off over time. And I had 2 of my teeth that had root canals. If you ever meet me in person and I smile at you, you'll see that I have no teeth.
But don't be worried. Don't be concerned.
Don't be concerned. It's not because
wasn't a bar fight.
Yeah, it wasn't a bar fight. I didn't get drunk at a bar last night. But you know, there's a retainer that I can wear, but I don't wear it most of the time because I can't speak very well with it. But it's just one of those things, you know, it's just one of those things that you have to deal with. And eventually they're going to learn how to, I posted a video about this on our Facebook about how they're regrowing teeth.
Good night.
There's a video. If you go in our archives on Facebook, you'll find it.
Well, that's what we've been kind of waiting around for otherwise we probably would have gotten, implants by now. Mm-hmm. But when do you think that technology is going to be available? I don't know.
It all depends. It all depends on how much of an impact this has on certain sectors of the dental community. Mm-hmm. And if it has a huge financial impact that won't be looked upon very well with conventional dentistry, then it may never come out, because for the same reason why, you know, you can't cure cancer, because
that's true.
But if it doesn't have an impact on those, you know, it's just, if it's a thing they can do, then they'll do it.
Did you feel any different after you got your root canals out? Because I mean, I want people to, if they're interested, to go onto our Instagram and scroll down until you find the one of my before and after root canals with what happened with these skin problems I had on my hands. Mm-hmm. And mine was, I physically saw my body change, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't feel any difference other than the fact that I don't have teeth.
Right.
Or 2 teeth. But I understand what, you know, I got a report back from Dr. Nunley. He was kind enough to do a report for us, and it showed scientifically
all the toxins
that were in my root canal. And I've read them on the show before, man, but I read you this like botulism and these incredible things that were in my root canal.
It was weird stuff. Yeah. Like salmonella.
Yeah. It was like just really
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Zika virus. Just kidding.
And,
you were the first person to do that.
Yeah. Well, somehow I'm still alive. But, yeah, it's one of those things where I think that your teeth are so important. Your teeth, I mean, right now, after every meal, I brush and floss after every meal.
You do. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
And you encourage me to. I don't do it as much as you, but it's a wake-up call. I don't want to lose any more teeth.
I don't want to lose any more teeth. I don't want to have health problems as a result of not taking care of my teeth. Mm-mm. It's such, you know, I look back at the time, at all that money we spent getting you know, for me, we went to Dr. Nunley twice. I went there in 2010 with you to get my mercury amalgam fillings removed. And then we went there again in 2013 and got our root canals removed. And I had 4 cavitations because I had all 4 wisdom teeth taken out. So I had 2 root canal teeth removed, 3 or 4 mercury fillings removed, and my 4 cavitations from my wisdom teeth fixed.
All because you ate food and didn't brush your teeth.
I didn't take care of myself.
Yeah.
What a waste. You know what I mean? All you have to do.
And now you have to I know.
Is bring your toothbrush to, you know, a dinner or to work. And when you come back from lunch, brush your teeth and go to the bathroom. It's so easy.
Totally with you.
You know?
I take mine to work now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Not every day, but sometimes, like if I know I'm going to be eating something.
It's worth it.
I'll just take another little bag, put my toothbrush in there, and rinse my mouth out.
It's worth it. So, Becky, I hope that helps. Listen to our shows on dentistry.
There's
find
many.
A holistic dentist. What's that?
I think there's many shows we've done on it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And there's also an article, if you look in the archives of a listener who wrote an article about how she remineralized her teeth. You may just have to get this teeth removed. Because it says here, just got back from the dentist and said one of my teeth had a dead and infected root. I mean, I guess what I would do is I would go to a holistic dentist and have them check that root, because if it's still got a little bit of life left, then
possibly
you may be able to save the tooth. It depends. So
yeah, no, it's an investment both in your out of your pocket as well as to the, I don't know, invest. If it's like your front tooth or in your smile line, you're investing in yourself over your looks even. It's a funny thing because I have a missing tooth in the back and you can't really see, but like when I laugh or something open my mouth really big, like I'm totally aware of it. I'm sure other people can see it, but I just knew it was more important to invest in me rather than how I felt about how I looked to other people. But
I know,
it was, and it's not cheap, but it was worth every penny.
Pauline says, hi, reading your use of 5 herbs to create an infusion drink to aid stronger bones, osteoporosis in my case. Do you know what quantities of herbs and how much liquid you drink from this mason jar? Golly.
Wow.
That information comes from an herbalist named Susan Weed, S-U-S-U-N.
Susan.
Susan Weed, W-E-E-D, I think. And she's got a protocol for osteoporosis and building stronger bones. For osteoporosis, I would recommend a product that we recommend. It's really good. Lots of great information on reversing osteoporosis. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/bones, like your bones, your skeleton, B-O-N-E-S, you'll find that information. But you drink a full mason jar. My mom did this. Remember this? She was doing these infusions. It's horsetail, nettle. I forget what they all were, but, she was doing this and she improved her bones significantly.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She did really well.
Your mom's done some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Also with her eyes, but yeah.
Yeah, she reversed her macular degeneration.
The wet kind. Amazing. That's crazy. But yeah. So she's a living testament of that. She is.
So you drink, a full mason jar full of this concoction and you have, I think you have 6 of them or 5 of them. And you do an infusion every morning of an herb that you soak overnight or something like that. And
is this Susan Weed's protocol?
Susan Weed's protocol, yeah.
Right.
And, actually, yeah, so Susan Weed is S-U-S-U-N-W-E-E-D. I think you said you found it, right?
I found, let me see this, SusanWeed.com. I found an article on bone health. I don't actually know, though, if this is the one.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it's stinging nettle.
Oh, good for you.
Oat straw, red clover, comfrey, and let's see, I think there's another one, but you didn't have it here. Is there one up there that I didn't see? No. That's
it?
Yeah, and so what my mom did was she went through, she actually was nice enough to click through our link for Mountain Rose Herbs.
Oh.
So at the bottom of our website, there's a link for Mountain Rose Herbs, and that helps us. But she went to Mountain Rose Herbs and bought all of these herbs and made one every day and followed the protocol and had really great success.
Yeah, and your mom was in some bad places, I think, with her bone.
Beginning of osteopenia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then also there's an issue in terms of bones, too, with the acid alkaline of your blood. Mm-hmm. And so if your blood's too acidic, it will rob alkaline minerals from your bones in order to balance the acidity in your blood. And it turns out that calcium is very alkaline. And so it'll pull calcium from your bones in order to balance out the acidity in your blood. And that's all caused by diet, too. So
there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah.
Bone health is huge, though. Your mom also started rebounding, which was good.
Yes.
Because that's a different kind of bone health and structural health and lymphatic, I know. But, I mean, that only seems to help strengthen everything in your body. But I'm proud of her.
Yeah, rebounding is really great. It's one of the best things for building bone density. I believe that there was some studies NASA, if you believe in NASA and what, but apparently
what they have to offer us.
But apparently when the astronauts came back from space, they came back, and I say that in quotes.
I know.
But I think they did actually make it up into space. But they didn't. Yeah, but I don't think they went to the moon.
Okay.
Or any of that garbage.
Okay.
But
delete.
Fail. But when they came back down, they apparently had like really low bone density, and so they would use rebounding to help, because it's cellular exercise. It affects your bone health and it helps to build stronger bones.
I have to really start doing that more. I keep saying that. There's no excuse.
We have the best rebounder on the planet.
No, that Bellicon.
Yeah, it's great.
I have to say though, wasn't there big news about the Bellicon? Aren't they shipping now internationally?
Oh, yeah.
Is that happening now?
That's right.
So now if anybody listening isn't in America or Canada, continental U.S., feel free to call us and get a shipping quote.
Yeah.
If you want to order Bellicon. Yeah. We need to tell your friend Beck about that.
That's right. We need to get back to her. She was asking about that.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, if you guys want the Bellicon, it's in our store. You can find it in there. But yeah, it's the best rebounder. I love that thing.
I think so. I love it.
Also, I want to let everybody know too. There's big news coming up. I'm not at liberty to disclose all of the facts about it yet. But an exciting new project, couple of them that we'll be announcing here pretty soon.
It is time. It's been in the works for a long time.
It's been in the works for a long time.
So everyone who's been hearing the show for years,
yeah,
we've been working on things behind the scene. It's almost time.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We're really, really excited about this project that we're going to be launching. And so, yeah, just stay tuned. And this is going to be something that you're really going to love. You're going to just absolutely love what we have going on. So I'm really excited to launch it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
do you think in the fall?
I think we talked about it yesterday. Remember on the walk? I think we're going to launch it at the beginning of
November?
Is
that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have another side project too that I've been working on that I'm also going to be letting people know about. So if you sign up to our newsletter list, which I highly recommend you do, we'll be announcing that as well in our newsletter list here pretty soon. So
excited.
Yes.
Changes. Times they are changing.
Times they are changing. So says Bob Dylan.
And we have more shows coming up down the pipe.
We do.
Yeah, finally now that this computer... Did the music work today?
No, we didn't get the music working. Okay. We're going to get that working here pretty soon.
We'll get that
along with Skype. So stay tuned. We're not stopping the show. We're not doing anything. We're very excited about everything we're doing. We just haven't been able to do any of it recently. So,
and feel free to send donations via Patreon or PayPal because we've had quite the expenses building up with this new computer over here. So
we have.
If anyone can help out a little extra this month to help cover the cost of... Oh my gosh, this new computer, that'd be amazing. So yes. Please feel free to keep those coming. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'd greatly appreciate that. That would be awesome if you guys could. If you're not aware of Patreon, it's a service where you can donate to us on a per show basis. So, if we normally do about 12 shows a month. So if you want to donate like 50 cents a show or $1 a show or even less, $5 a month, you can put a cap on it. And it just comes out of your account once a month. You don't get charged every time there's a show, just once a month. And if you have Facebook, you can do this. You can help us out and sign up in a matter of probably a minute. And it really helps us. So consider doing that. If you like what we're doing, only if you like what we're doing. If we like what we're doing, consider doing that. That would be awesome. We're going to keep doing it regardless. Our goal is to help as many people as we can and be empowered, understand about natural health and things like that. So, if you're down with that and you like that as our mission and we've helped you in some way, consider doing that. That'd be awesome.
Or use our Amazon link.
That's true.
That helps too.
We've been having a lot of people do that lately.
With holiday stuff coming up. Woohoo.
Yes.
It's really helpful to us. So.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone who has donated and or used our Patreon account, our Amazon account. Please consider doing that. Think about us when you make a purchase on Amazon. We'd appreciate that.
And we do appreciate it.
All right. Is that it?
All right, y'all. Yeah.
That's it. That's about an hour.
Great.
And
off to the races.
Off to the races. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
Love you guys.
We love you, and we'll catch you guys on the next show.
Bye.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this blog or to start any health program without first consulting